but it has to be an equal exchange of energy. So, when I first started my relationship mastery program, I gave it to a couple of veterans for free. They never did the program. Why? Because it had no value to them. There was not an equal exchange of energy. There has to be that equal exchange of energy to have value. Everything in life has to have an equal exchange of energy. Then you have patience, and patience is a tough one for a lot of people.
Yeah, I see it also with myself. Patience is also a big topic.
Yeah, everybody wants, we live in a society right now of instant gratification. Everybody wants everything right now. They want it yesterday. They don't want to wait for anything.
Stop. Hey June, welcome to the show. I'm really happy that you are here. And June Edward is a psychic medium. She passed to the other side at the age of 27 and came back here by choice. She has worked on missing person cases as well as consulted with many well-known paranormal groups and authors. She is an author and teacher of psychic and mediumship development. She created the relationship mastery program, which teaches people how to change their energy, learn their 5 love lessons, repair their relationship, and magnetize anyone or anything in their lives. And I'm really pumped up that you are here now. She is a really, really powerful woman, and I love to talk to her. So, but now, yeah, she can say from herself how do you would define yourself? Who are you? Because I think it's also a really difficult question when we go a bit deeper into spirituality. So I personally love that question. Who
I'm
are
like
you?
everyone else. I'm just a soul in a suit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm an author, I'm a teacher, I'm a speaker. I'm a mom. My boys are grown, but I'll always be a mom.
Yeah.
And I am a relationship expert and a psychic medium.
Yeah, so this would lead already to the first question or the second question. What is exactly psychic medium?
So everyone has psychic ability, and that is the knowing. Everyone's had this feeling that maybe I shouldn't go this way to work today. Maybe I should go a different way. Something's telling me I shouldn't go that way. And maybe you avoid a 10-car pileup or something else. It's just that knowing, that nagging feeling that you get, that's your psychic ability. And that is actually your soul that you're listening to. Okay. Mediums, we talk to dead people, basically. I see dead people, I talk to dead people. And everyone has that ability as well, as long as you have a pure heart. And I say that because there are good and bad in every profession. There's good lawyers, there's bad lawyers. There are psychics that are honest, and there are psychics that have been trained to deceive people, to use their abilities to deceive people. And people knew about gypsies years ago, used to work for the circuses, and they were trained with their psychic ability to use it for nefarious purposes. So you will never find one of those type of people that is actually a medium, because the souls and the angels on the outside will not work with you unless you have pure of heart. It's that simple. So for anyone that's looking for a reading, I would recommend going to see a psychic medium, because if they're a medium, they're not being nefarious and they're honest, bottom line. Or they wouldn't have that ability. So that's exactly what I do, is I get my information and I talk to souls from the other side.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So before we come to the other question, about your story, etc., etc., I also have to say that always in the world there are always people, that don't have a pure soul, and they just use different niches, right? They use different niches or different opportunities to just make money. It doesn't matter. They don't care about you, or they, yeah, they just want
But
to make.
that's their lesson in life. And when you understand how energy works, you can read other people's energy very easily, and you can avoid those people in your life. So everybody's walked into a party or a wedding and they felt how high the energy is, right? And everyone's
Yeah,
walked into a funeral where everyone's crying and felt how low the energy is.
yeah,
So when you
energy.
understand how energy works and you can read the energy and you elevate your own vibration, you will repel those types of people anyways. They won't even have they won't interact with you because you won't bring them into your life and into your circle when you raise your vibration. Because kind likes attract. We're magnets. We're always attracting or repelling at any given time. And it's like a radio station. You can't get the radio station in unless you're on the right frequency, right? So
Yeah,
the
right.
people that you bring into your life are on the same frequency, the same energetic
Yeah,
frequency that you are. So if
yeah.
you're bringing people into your life like that and you keep finding yourself getting taken advantage of, that means you're on the same energetic frequency that they are. You need to raise your frequency and bring in better people. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's also always what I talk about, raising your frequency. And we as humanity, we have to raise our frequency and also consciousness, right? So, but yeah, we need to learn that. We never for me personally, I don't learn in school. So probably also the most of the people also don't learn that in
Yeah.
school.
Well,
And
in school, they teach you what they want you to know, and they teach you what you need to know to be controlled, because that's what the environment of the world has been for a very long time, with people in power, which is evil,
yeah,
controlling everyone else.
yeah, yeah.
And
So,
it's come
but
to a head. It's come to a head right now. It's all good versus evil right now.
yeah, I feel it also so much right now. Just, just the energy. There we are also again, just the energy. I literally can, I'm not sure how I can define
It's
certain
almost palpable.
things.
It's almost
Yeah,
touchable. You can almost touch the energy. It's so thick.
yeah, exactly,
And you
exactly.
have to rise above it, and you have to know that we're here for a reason. You chose
Yeah,
this time and place to be here to help humanity. Every single one of us that is getting in touch with our soul and
yeah.
raising our vibration is here basically to save everybody else.
Yeah, so I say also that we are here for Earth, not only for humanity, but also for sure for humanity. So, because when we just look outside, yeah, a lot of things that happens in the world, it's really, really dark, but we can make the difference, right? We can bring the light out and give
Well,
just
there's no such thing as darkness, right? You can't create darkness. Darkness is just the absence of light. So when you bring the
yeah,
light,
yeah,
darkness does not
yeah,
exist.
yeah.
And that's how it works. You have to bring the light.
But I mean, negative people, right? Negative people
You're not going to change
exist.
every person. You're not going to
Yeah,
change every person. Everybody is here for a different purpose and a different reason,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
everything in the universe has to stay in balance. So if you didn't
yeah,
have people that were sad, right, you wouldn't have people that
yeah,
are happy. If you didn't know sadness,
yeah,
you wouldn't know joy.
yeah,
Everything has to stay in balance, and it all happens for a reason. And some of these
yeah,
people are here just playing, a brief role to be here, just, I don't know, to be whatever it is they chose to be here for, their own little mini vacation. And
yeah,
you can't help everyone, and you're absolutely not supposed to.
yeah.
You're going to help the people that need the help, the people that are gravitating towards you, the people that you
Mm.
attract. Anyone that's listening to this podcast is not here by accident. They're here because they're supposed to be. And they may not agree with everything I have to say, but there is something that I have to say that they need to hear. And that's why they're here.
Yeah, definitely. I say also always. So when you look now at that episode, congratulations, you are here because of a reason, and also when you look the whole interview, so you train your attentiveness and you just invest your time in yourself. So it's always interesting for me to hear different stories, and would be really interesting when you tell us your story. So, how do you found out that you want to go in this direction you go now? And how do you found out that you make that what you make now?
So
And
when you
yeah,
get on the path that you're supposed to be on in life, it's really not your choice, only if you want to delay it. Okay. So it's like asking a priest, why are you a priest? They heard that calling, they knew what was supposed to do, they listened to their soul. When
yeah,
you learn how to listen to your soul, the universe takes you in the direction that you're supposed to be in. So, I was born with a lot of ability, and like most people, I was very afraid of it because I was stuck
yeah,
in my head. Okay. We have a brain. We are not the body. Like I said, we're the energetic soul inside, but we're here living a 3D experience. So we all have a brain in our
yeah,
head. Our brain has a very specific job. Other than being a computer and helping you process your information, your brain's job is to protect you. How does it do that? It does it by creating fear. So people make their decisions in life based on fear. And when you do that, it's literally a crapshoot. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and you're always questioning your decisions. When you learn how to get in touch with your soul, and you make the decisions from your soul, that's that knowing, it will work out 100% of the time the way it's supposed to, and you don't question it. Everyone has had some incident in their life where they did something that they just knew they were supposed to do it. They just knew. They didn't question it. They did it, and it worked out fine.
yeah.
Okay? That's listening to your soul. So I was in business my whole life. I was born with this ability and afraid of it, and I was in business my whole life. And for the
Okay.
most part, I listened to my soul, even though I didn't have the understanding at the time that that's what I was doing. I had a knowing that I was supposed to do certain things, and that's what I did. And it always worked out amazing.
Yeah.
And it got to the point in my business where I was desperate. Business was not good. The economy was bad. I was making decisions from my head
Yeah.
against my
Okay.
soul, just hiring employees because I needed bodies. And I knew they
Yeah.
weren't going to work out because I just knew in my soul, I knew in my soul it wasn't the right thing, but in my head, that's what I was doing out of fear. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was going through a divorce at the time, and I was running 5 businesses. I was a mess. So I went to
What? Five
yeah, I went, yeah,
businesses? That's crazy.
yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
went to a Reiki practitioner to get some relaxation, and she recommended that I meditate. And I'm like, there's no way I can meditate. I can't shut my brain off enough. I'm running 5 businesses right now. I'm going through a divorce. Life is crazy.
Yeah.
But the first time that I tried to meditate, it was like they kicked the door in from the other side. And all of my abilities opened up 1,000 times more than they were when I was a child. And I had no choice. I had to learn how to control it because I couldn't turn it off. When you wake up in the morning and you got 30 or 40 souls around your bed, and I was working
What?
as a medical esthetician, every person that came in my room, I knew everything there was to know about them. It's very freaky, and yeah, it's scary. And
Yeah.
I needed to know. I mean, people that have this ability, if they don't find someone to teach them, start medicating with alcohol and drugs because they can't turn it off and they think they're crazy. So I was
Yeah.
fortunate enough, the universe took me to the right teachers. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I learned how to turn it on, how to turn it off, how to protect myself. And the
Yeah.
rest of my education took over from the other side. And everything else that I learned, including the books that I've written and the programs that I made, was done with divine intervention from the other side.
Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah. So still, there are much people in the world that, yeah, who can't grasp it, right? So it's
Everyone has
to
their own
to
time,
yeah,
it's so a lot of people talk about having a midlife crisis. Why does it happen then? It's because you made this plan, you wrote this life, and that's the time that you chose to awaken. Some people wake up younger, and I find that it's not as often that people wake up younger, but some do. Some of those are old souls, and they come here and kind of know what their purpose is as soon as they get here. And then they're connecting and learning. And the program that I teach, a lot of people teach their children after they learn what I teach them, so that their children waken early and they don't have to go through the ups and downs and the hardships that most other people have to go through.
Yeah, I read also that you had a near-death experience. So how this was happening, and
So
what is it?
I was injured when I injured my back when I was 22, when I was recently married, and I found out I was pregnant at almost the exact same time. So there wasn't much that could be done with my back until after the pregnancy.
Oh,
And you know, I really felt that I was going to die if I went in to have surgery. So I put my surgery off for 5 years until they told me that I couldn't have any more children unless I had my operation, because they'd be picking pieces out of my back. So before I went in for the surgery, I told my family and my husband, I said, listen, I really think I'm going to die. And they're, of course, you know, oh, you're just overreacting. You're just afraid, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm telling you, I know I'm going to die. And sure enough, the night before my surgery, they had to do an MRI test with a contrast dye. And I told them I thought I was allergic to it. I'd had it once before and I didn't have a very good reaction. I couldn't get up for hours. And they just kind of pop-potted off and told me it was normal. Everybody has that reaction. And what do I know? I'm only 27 years old. I'm not the doctor. So as soon as they injected me with that dye medication, I died immediately. And I immediately went to heaven.
damn.
And it was absolutely amazing. There aren't words to describe it. It was just incredible. And the only two things you take with you is knowledge and your feelings. And just the feeling of love was just overwhelming on the other side. And you access the knowledge of all your lifetimes when you're there. And I ended up having a full life review. It's like sitting in the front row of an IMAX theater. And I saw everything in my life that happened that had brought me joy, the people that I loved, the things that made me happy. And then I heard someone behind me tell me that it wasn't really my time. I could stay if I wanted to, or I could go back. And it was a really tough decision. I had to think about it for a little bit. And then I remembered that I had 2 small babies and I was really here for them, that they brought me a lot of joy, and I knew I was supposed to be here for them. So as soon as I made that decision, I was back in my body immediately. And I had not had my 3rd child yet. And I had him, you know, not too long after I came back. But I believe it was an out that I wrote into my life, because I had a very difficult life. And, you know, if I wanted to take it and take my out, I could have. I chose to stay. So it's kind of amazing. This is where quantum physics comes in a little bit, because when your soul leaves your body and goes into the light, the speed of light is over 300 million miles a second. So that's the speed that my soul was traveling at. And then it came back into this body. So my vibration is automatically higher than most people. And I believe that's the reason that I'm able to connect to the other side so quickly. And I can go back and forth to the 5th dimension, which is the lowest level of heaven at will.
The dimensions, the different dimensions, it's also a really interesting topic. So I also just go with the flow always. I just wrote me some questions down, but that just pops up sometimes, some questions that could be also interesting for the listener, for the viewer.
Well, time doesn't really exist.
You know, the different dimensions. So this is really, really interesting. And
so we live in 3D here. This is the 3rd dimension. Okay. And we're here literally playing a part in a movie. So enjoy it.
When you go to sleep, enjoy it. Enjoy it. This is good.
When you go to sleep at night, your vibration actually rises. And the 4D is your dream state. And the lowest level of heaven is 5D. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're not meditating during the day and connecting or seeing the souls and your loved ones from the other side, and they want to contact you or give you messages, the only way they can do that is at night when you're sleeping and your vibration rises.
Yeah.
So our soul is way too big for this body. We have some of it stuffed in our body. People talk about seeing an aura over your head. That's part of your soul that's right over your body. And the majority of your body is in the
Yeah.
fifth dimension already, which is the lowest level of heaven. And that orchestrates the timing of the events that happen in your life. So when you go to sleep at night, they lower their vibration and you're rising your vibration when you're sleeping, and you meet in that dream state. And you'll know it's a visit, not a dream, because it
Yeah.
feels real. You wake up immediately and you remember it. That's a visit, not a dream. So I always tell everybody to write it down immediately so you remember what it is they told you, because it's important.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I have also a dream journal and other journal that I write other stuff in there. But the dream journal, it helped me also, I think, so far. But sometimes it also happens, for me personally, probably also for other people, that when you wake up and you are not fast enough to write it down, so then sometimes just forget it, everything, just forget it. And sometimes also it feels for me so, oh damn, I know there was a really, really important message, but why the fuck I don't remember now? You know? So yeah, what we can make to remember more from our dreams. Also I guess just
Well, dreams are different things. Sometimes if you've got too much on your mind during the day that you're not processing,
yeah,
your brain will process it at night when you're sleeping and cause a dream that way, just so
yeah,
your brain can categorize things and work through it. That's not a visit from the other side.
yeah,
Sometimes it's important. Most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's just your brain, it's just like a computer at night. When you go to shut it down, before it shuts down, what does your computer do? It sorts all your files, it puts everything in order, it moves the unimportant stuff to the back. Your
yeah.
brain does the exact same thing because your brain is nothing more than a computer. Okay.
Yeah. But I
So
think
if you're not
yeah.
remembering it, then I wouldn't be too concerned about it, really.
Okay, yeah, because this would be also a question now how I can differentiate and to make sure this was just like a reset now from the computer, or
Because it
this
feels,
was
if it's a visit, it feels real. You
yeah,
remember it all and you
yeah,
wake up immediately, and you'll continue
yeah.
to remember it. It doesn't just
Uh,
disappear
mm.
immediately. You remember it.
Yeah, all right, all right. Yeah, we spoke also last time private about it. So because I want to go also deeper into lucid dreaming, and for people who don't know what is lucid dreaming, how we can explain that.
Again, a lot of the times when you're dreaming, it is
Yeah,
just your brain doing its filing. That's what it is. It's something that you've been thinking about or working on during the day that you didn't have the opportunity to continue thinking about and processing.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
mostly what's happening. I think people put too much into the dreaming, to be honest.
yeah. Okay.
And the other thing is this, I mean, when you go to sleep at night, again, most of your soul leaves your body. It's not there. So when you go to sleep at night, you can go visit yourself. You can go visit people that are alive, people that are not alive. Your
Yeah.
soul can go do whatever you want to do when you go to sleep at night, if you set that intention.
So, but this we
And
have to train also, right? This goes then in direction lucid dreaming, that we can
exactly,
control our dreams, that we can
you
say
can,
we
to a point.
create now a own world there, right? So, or
Well,
we
you
visit.
can, well, it's your soul leaving, but you can do the same thing while you're awake through meditation. And this is the whole point of meditation,
All
getting in
right.
touch with your soul when you're actually awake. And you
Yeah.
have more control over it and you can remember it better. So for instance, I've flown over 14th century Europe through meditation. My entire soul has gone.
What? Okay,
Well,
this
it's not
is
your entire soul. You keep some of it
yeah,
in your soul to keep your body alive, but the
yeah.
majority of my soul has gone out of my body. And this is why grounding is so important, because when you come out of that meditation, you need to make sure you've pulled back enough of your soul into your body so that you're not walking around like an airhead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think some people needs more time, some people needs less time, right? When they want to train that astral travel or lucid dreaming. So
So the
can
problem with doing it at night when you're sleeping, like I said, is that you have no control over it. And most of the
yeah.
time, you may or may not remember where your soul's gone.
So
But if you're
so
doing it through a meditation
yeah.
during the day, you'll remember all of it.
Yeah, so then we just have to train it every day like a muscle in the gym, right? So
Exactly.
just every day meditate and
It's
but
a matter
also
of getting in touch with your soul and
yeah.
raising your vibration. And that the fastest and easiest way to do that is through meditation. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I feel it's so important. I've put directions to do it properly in all of my books,
Yeah.
because most people don't do it properly. They don't teach it properly. They don't
Yeah.
protect themselves. And when you're opening yourself up to the universe, you need to make sure that you're protecting yourself from evil as well as the other good angels and souls that want to come and reach you. And you also need to make sure you're grounded, because if you're not, I mean, a lot of people don't understand what is grounding.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a great example. I was cooking meatballs one day in my house,
Okay.
and they needed another 10 minutes in the oven. So I
Yeah.
figure, oh, I'll just sit down and meditate for 10 minutes. And I did not set a clock or a timer.
Okay.
And when I came out of it, it had been more than an hour. I
What?
completely forgot what I had been doing. I went upstairs, I got the laundry together. I'm coming downstairs to do a load of laundry, and I saw the stove, and I thought to myself, I forgot to shut the oven off when I took the meatballs out.
Oh
Then
no.
it dawned on me, I never even took the meatballs out. I completely forgot what I had been doing prior to my meditation because I was
Yeah.
not grounded properly. That's why.
Okay.
So of course they were
Okay.
burnt.
Yeah, yeah. But to that we come also later to your books. So mm,
But that's
but
what
yeah,
happens when you're not grounded properly. You don't bring enough of your soul back and understand that it's back in your body. It's 3D here again. You
yeah.
can't be up there floating around when you're supposed to be playing the role here in 3D.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. That's a really interesting point. So, mm, I think also for the health is meditation, by the way, really, really important. Because I'm also deep into holistic health and that we just live a healthier lifestyle. And
So everybody wants to look
you,
younger, right?
yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
wants to turn that age
So,
clock back. Well, if you want to do that, meditate, because when you meditate, you raise your vibration because you're connecting with your soul. Okay. You're
yeah.
connecting with the soul that's on the other side as well. So the result of that is the cell structure of your body,
Mm-hmm.
instead of, they turn over much faster. As you age, your
Yeah.
cells turn over slower and slower
Mm.
because your body slows down. So when you speed up the cellular structure of your body, your cells turn over faster, and basically you end up turning back the aging process. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
meditation will
yeah.
make you look younger, I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Do it
so
properly, do it all the time, and you'll look younger.
yeah, I'm sure that's also a big part from a healthy lifestyle to just also look good. So, but I experienced also
Well, it's
it's really
repairing.
much, from the internal, so that we just go in us and also feel good, etc., etc.
Yep, but it's
So
repairing all parts of your body at the
it's
same
repairing
time.
all
So if
part.
there's
Yeah,
damage to anything in your body, you're turning those cells over faster and you're
ex
repairing your entire body.
exactly, exactly. So, and also by the way, what was also popping up now, uh, I'm also into the nutrition and into intuitive eating. So because I tried a lot in the past, so I was also 100% vegan. So and mm, the nutrition part is also a really interesting part. So people say, yeah, we have to look on our macros, right? On our vitamins, minerals, and all that stuff from a standpoint of science, right? So, but there's also, when we go in the spiritual, there's also this other aspect from the energy, the frequency, because all kind of food has different energy. So then it would be also a bit interesting for me. What do you eat? Do you eat, for example, also meat? So,
Absolutely.
and
So I had to
you know,
I had to come to terms with that and find out what's the deal. Why as humans have we always been eating meat, because
mhm.
I know that we can also reincarnate as animals. And I believe
Oh,
we can
damn.
reincarnate as plants as well, because I've been able to talk to trees since I was a child. Yeah,
Oh,
I could tell you some crazy
I
stories.
had also experience with that, so
Yeah.
this is
So yeah,
totally crazy.
so I had to go and I had to ask on the other side, are we wrong? Why are we doing this? What's the story? And so what I found out
Yeah.
is it's usually less advanced souls that choose to come through as animals, not all the time, but for the most part. But if they're
Okay.
coming, again, we all write our life plan. There are no accidents, okay? And if they're coming back as an animal that's being used for food, they've done that purposely and they're well aware that it's happening. And you don't have to believe me. I don't care. When you get to the other side, you'll find out on your own. But they are
What?
happy to live their life and then give their body for food to nourish us. That is their purpose. And they are
All
aware of that. And they're
right.
happy to do that.
That's a big topic. Probably some
Yeah.
people say now also, you have to be vegan, you have to be plant-based. Anyway, I think vegan is so I
So
don't like this word anymore so much. And because, people say also, yeah, when you do need to be vegan because when do you have compassion about other life beings, for example? There's also this argument, when you
everything
don't
has a
eat your dog,
purpose.
when you don't,
Everything has a purpose.
yeah,
They have a
exactly,
purpose. Animals have a purpose as well.
yeah,
And every animal is not raised for food because every animal did not come back here with that intention.
yeah,
And if you go to India, cows are revered. They revere them
yeah,
as gods
yeah,
because they believe that some of their gods have reincarnated into their cows, and that's a very good possibility that they have. So they
yeah,
don't eat their cows. They'll eat
yeah,
other animals instead, but they'll eat their dogs.
yeah,
Okay, but you
yeah,
go to the United States, we don't eat our dogs because we don't believe that. So, when I wrote my first book, A Night on the Other Side, which
mm-hmm.
teaches psychic development and mediumship,
Yeah,
everyone was asking me before it went to print, can we reincarnate as animals and plants? And I'm like, I have no idea. Let me ask on the other side. I went on
yeah,
the other side to ask, I got no answer. So I'm like,
okay,
wait a minute. I said, I have a dog that I love this dog. It was my son's dog, and when he got the dog as a puppy, as a rescue, he found it. From the
yeah,
moment I saw that dog and I were in love with each other. It was crazy. We just had such an affinity for each other, which has never happened to me with an
yeah.
animal
I have
before.
same story with my
And my
dog now,
son, my
with
son would
our.
say to me, geez, mom, if I was a jealous person, I swear my dog loves you more than me. So I went back into my Akashic records to see where this dog had been in my past life.
Okay.
That's the first thing that I did. And in my past life, my son had been my father, and the dog had been a man that we saved from dying. Yep. So that he
Okay.
reincarnated into the dog in this lifetime to protect my son and me. And he protected my son for the first 4 years when he needed him and he was in the military. And then he protected me for the next 4 years when I needed him and I was living by myself.
Wow.
So the dog comes through to me still, but he comes through sometimes as the man and sometimes as the dog. So he was the first person that I asked. I said, you came through it as an animal
Yeah.
this time. So
Yeah.
explain to me how you chose to do that, how you were able to do that.
Yeah.
So by speaking with him and knowing his soul, I know he's a lower vibrational soul to begin with, not a lower vibrational, he's a less advanced soul, okay? Your soul has
Okay.
to continually advance and grow on the other side.
Yeah.
Everybody's met a child that has years beyond his, wisdom beyond his years and said, oh, he's an old soul, okay? So souls do, we come back thousands of times, we reincarnate. So that's the first thing that he did tell me, that is the lower advanced, not as advanced souls that come back as animals. And then I said, well, what about food? I mean, we eat animals. Is that, why do we do that? Why, is that evil? What's the story? He said, absolutely not. He goes, as I know, we have planned this lifetime, just as he planned to come back to protect me and my son.
Yeah.
And he knew he wasn't going to die for food. He knew what his purpose was when he came here. And he, the poor thing got an inoperable cancer and died at 8 years old. There was nothing I could do to save him, but he wasn't here to be here a long time. He came specifically to be here for a quick, short time, 8 years. That was it. And
Okay.
he said, every animal that comes through here, every soul that is in that animal knows that it is here to serve a purpose, and its purpose is to feed us and give us nourishment and energy. And that's their purpose.
That's so beautiful. And in that way, I never heard, also I never heard that point of view, right? So yeah, when I was going deeper into nutrition, so I wasn't that deep into spirituality as I'm now, and I don't had this level of consciousness I have now. So, and now I believe also that when we really listen on ourselves and when we really honest to ourselves, then we feel what we need, what our body needs and our soul needs, and so, and that we need to balance everything, right? So
Everything in the universe has to stay in balance. That's what energy is
yeah,
all about. And your soul does have
yeah.
all the answers to every question you ask. So if you learn how to listen to your soul and get in touch with your soul, you have all the answers within you. You
That's
can sit here in your head all day long and chase stuff around. That's your computer. You want to get stuck in your computer, it's like a big video game.
yeah.
But your soul the soul is who you are. The soul is your energy. That's who you truly are. And it has the answers to any question that you can ask if you get in touch with it.
Yeah, yeah. So now we was going a bit other way into nutrition. So I don't plan that, but as my
It goes
listeners
where it
know
goes. That's the
also,
first-
it goes
it's the
where it
first-
goes.
You're only the second person to ever ask me.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just go always with the flow, and I just love it. And when we go with the flow, right, it also, I believe also that it just comes from the divine energy. Some
And
people
what's
call it
interesting,
data,
because
and so
I just got a message from my sister. Okay, so my sister's on the other side, and she's
okay,
sitting here
yeah.
next to me at the moment. And my
What,
sister
really? Okay, crazy.
she was raised Hindu.
Okay,
And because
yeah.
I was talking about the cows in India, she just showed up.
What?
And she was raised vegetarian, vegan, actually, vegan. And she raised all her 6 children vegan. And
Okay.
one by one, her children are not vegan any longer. And she passed to the other side now 9 years ago. And same thing, that she's on the other side. She said, as enlightened as she was, she did not understand the benefit and the power behind the animals giving themselves to us.
Wow.
She wouldn't even eat eggs. She was a complete vegan, hardcore. Yeah.
Wow. This is
Now that she's on the other side, it's very different now that she has the knowledge.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's always also just to come out from our head, from our mind, and also tune a bit more into ourselves, into our soul, into our heart, our higher self, right? And just stop this overthinking. So, but now I just also want to come slowly a bit more into that other topics that you also teach people with your coachings, etc., or with your book and so. And yeah, sure,
So
nutrition.
we're here in a body, okay? We're living a 3D life here. We're here for a lot of reasons. We're here to help teach people. We're here to learn. We're here to have a little mini vacation, because when you don't have a body, you can't eat, you can't taste, you can't smell, you can't have sex, you can't do any of those things. So we're here for lots of reasons. And while you're here to play a role. So you need to play your role, because if you're not playing your role, no one else can play their role.
Yeah, you play always a role.
Yeah. And, we reincarnate every lifetime as men, women, black, white,
Yeah.
Asian, doesn't really matter. It really depends on what you want to experience when you're here. And a lot of people get stuck in their head, and they get stuck in the drama of this 3D life. So what I teach them is how energy really works, how the universe really works, why they're here, okay? And how to see life from a very different perspective, so they can really enjoy it and play the role they're supposed to play. So, for instance, I have reincarnated as a man probably more than a woman, and I brought through a lot of the male traits from my last lifetime. And I married my husband, who was a man, and I was the first one to pick up a hammer if something had to be fixed, which now took away from him his opportunity to play the role that he's supposed to be playing in this lifetime. You have a role, you need to play it. I'm supposed to be playing the woman in this lifetime, which means that's not really my job. My job is to ask, the male to do his role, to play his role. And if you're not playing your role, you're taking away their opportunity to play their role as well. Again, we're just playing parts in a movie. This is what it really is. And you have to look at it that way. And, there's 5 soul lessons that we're here to learn. And that's what my book is all about. All's fair in love and karma.
Yeah, this
and
was
the
also
first
a
one,
question.
Yep.
For
The
me.
first one is self-worth. Okay. Self-worth is not value. Value is what other people place on you. Self-worth is it's the understanding that you are the absolutely only one of you in this universe. How important are you, and how important did the universe think it was to have you here, the only one of you here? Okay. And it's not narcissistic, and it's not selfish to put yourself first. It's where everything else comes from. If you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be here to take care of anybody else, are you? No.
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 Yeah.
You'll be dead. You can't take care of yourself and put yourself first. You won't be here to take care of anyone else.
Yeah, that's true. That's I say also always.
Okay.
You are the most important.
That's why when you're in an airplane and the oxygen comes down, they tell you to put the mask on yourself first before you help someone else. Because if you're dead, you can't help anybody else.
Yeah. When your cup is not full, how you should help someone.
And no one can make you do anything. You are responsible for everything, including being happy. No one can make you happy. It's an inside job. And when you're happy, it ping pongs and you attract other happy people. Just like miserable people attract miserable people, right? Misery likes company. Happy people attract happy people. That's how that works. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next lesson is trust and communication. You have to be able to communicate to other people your wants and your needs, no matter who that is, whether it's your boss, your child, your significant other. You have to be able to communicate. And you also need to be able to trust. You have to trust that there's a higher power. You have to trust that there's a plan. You have to trust that everything that's happening in your life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's happening for your highest and best. And when you can't make the decisions for yourself, the universe will step in and do it for you so that you can move along in your journey. That's how it works. And sex is just another form of communication. If you can't communicate outside the bedroom, you're never going to be able to communicate inside the bedroom, right? And you have to be able, again, trust the person that you're with to be able to communicate with them.
Yeah.
Then you have unconditional love. Unconditional love is not staying in a bad relationship and playing the martyr because, oh, I love him unconditionally. No. Unconditional love is saying, listen, I love you. We had a good run. It was great when it was great, but it's not anymore. And we're not bringing each other joy, and we need to move forward in our journey. So I wish you
Yeah.
well. Goodbye. And it again reinforces the lesson of self-worth, because each lesson will entwine and reinforce the next lesson. So you're continually learning them. Then you have money and balance, and everything in the universe has to stay in balance. This is why we have good and evil. This is why we have day and night, why we have the yin and the yang. There's an opposite for everything, because everything has to stay in balance. And money is energy. That's why it's called currency. And it's what we use in this 3D world to show whether or not your life is in balance. So let's say all you do is work. You work a ton of hours because you're trying to save a lot of money. Well, now you have no time for anyone else in your life, including yourself, right? So your life is going to be completely out of balance.
Yeah.
And then if you're all you're doing is hoarding your money and collecting your money, well, then you don't even value yourself enough to spend the fruits of your labor on yourself, do you? And this is the lesson of self-worth kicking in. And
Damn,
right
so
now,
powerful.
yeah, right now we don't walk into a grocery store and pop down $1 million to pay for, some bananas, right? We don't do that yet, but it has to be an equal exchange of energy. So, when I first started my relationship mastery program, I gave it to a couple of veterans for free. They never did the program. Why? Because it had no value to them. There was not an equal exchange of energy. There has to be that equal exchange of energy to have value. Everything in life has to have an equal exchange of energy. Then you have patience, and patience is a tough one for a lot of people.
Yeah, I see it also with myself. Patience is also a big topic.
Yeah, everybody wants, we live in a society right now of instant gratification. Everybody wants everything right now. They want it yesterday. They don't want to wait for anything. Well, that's not how the world works, and it's not how you made your plan. And that's why your higher self is in charge of giving you the things in the time that you're supposed to have them. Every little 5-year-old girl wants to get married, be Cinderella, and have babies, right?
Yeah.
How stupid would that be if the stork starts dropping them on a 5-year-old? It all happens in time. Everything happens when it's supposed to. And just for all you people that think you have regrets and you shoulda, coulda, woulda, and should have done something differently, get that out of your head right now. Because everything in your life has brought you to the next thing and the next thing and next thing, and brought you to where you are right now. And you are always exactly where you're supposed to be at any given time. You need to know that. You don't really have a lot of choices in this lifetime, as much as the universe wants you to think you have choice. You planned this lifetime. The only thing you can really do is delay your lessons, because that's why you're here, and that's your choice. So if the universe offers you door 1, 2, and 3, you take door 1, you go through it, you get married, you have a couple of kids, you get divorced. Where are you going to be? In front of door 1, 2, and 3 again. Most people haven't learned their lesson. They're going to take door number 1 again. What happens? Same thing. You get married, you have a couple of kids, you get divorced the second time. If you learned your lesson this time, you're not taking door 1 anymore. You're going to take door 2 or door 3. And you may still get married and have children, but you're not going to get divorced for the reason that you did the first 2 times around, because you learned that lesson. So some people need to learn one of the 5 lessons. Some people need to learn all of the 5 lessons, but it is absolutely possible to learn all these 5 lessons in this lifetime and in a short matter. That was why I created the Relationship Mastery Program. It's only a 7-week program. And you can learn all these lessons in a very timely fashion when you get in touch with your soul, and you're able to look at your life from a higher perspective and understand why certain things are happening to you.
Yeah, so by the way, relationships is also really, really important in our lives, because we are social creatures, I personally think. And also, it's just one life pillar. I say also always, it also counts in my eyes to a healthy lifestyle, right? It's just one life pillar from also financial pillar, or for example, there's the spiritual pillar, or physical health, mental health, emotional health, and so on, so forth. So, and because of that, I think also relationships is a really, really important.
So we have relationships with many, many people. They're not just sexual. We're having a relationship right now as we're talking and conversing. We have relationships with
Yeah,
the
exactly.
grocer. We have a relationship with our parents, our children, our best friends, and our employers, our employees. There's
Yeah.
lots of different types of relationships.
Attention rebels and dreamers. How did you find this podcast? Somebody probably shared it, shoot it on Instagram or something like that. The only way this grows is through recommendations. So I don't run ads, I don't do sponsorships, I don't sell anything except my shameless self-promotion, of course. No sales pitch here, just a friendly ask. If you've enjoyed this podcast, why not share the love? Leave a like for the video, rate the episode with 5 stars, and share it with your friends. Your support means the world to me. And now something else, ready for a personalized journey with the Red Pill coaching program, master your mind, body, and soul. And as someone who's lived with ADHD and Tourette syndrome, I've transformed my life from depression and school bullying to overcoming loss and more. I share not for pity, but to inspire you. Your past doesn't have to define your future. Don't overlook the descriptions down below. Inside, you'll find gifts and invitations, and also how you can support my work in other ways. Your next adventure starts there. Check it out. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the video or episode.
But we learn our lessons faster on this side than on the other side, and we learn them faster still within relationship. And the reason for that is karma, okay? We create karma in this lifetime by doing something to someone and not making amends. Say you stole money from somebody and you didn't make amends.
Yeah.
In another lifetime, they're going to come back and teach you something. Maybe they're going to teach you how money works, money and balance. Maybe they're going to be your boss, but they're going to come back in your lifetime to collect on that karma. So there are three main types of relationships in this lifetime. Okay.
Yeah.
There is the karmic relationship. And again, it could be a lover, it could be a friend, it could be an employer, but a karmic relationship never really feels comfortable. They're there to teach you something specifically, or for you to teach the other person that you owe karma to, but they never feel real comfortable. They always feel like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, or you're looking for the red flags in the relationship. And when one or the other person learns the lesson they're supposed to learn, whether it's self-worth, money and balance, unconditional love, patience, trust and communication, whatever the lesson is, when you learn the lesson, the relationship ends immediately. It's like you wake up one morning, you say, why do I even have this person in my life? They don't bring me joy, I'm done. And if you both learn the lesson, the relationship will end amicably. If only one or the other has learned their lesson, the relationship will end, but it will not be amicable. This is when you're always being nasty and fighting and blah, 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 because you didn't both learn your lesson. And then you'll repeat it. A lot of people do not learn the lesson and they keep repeating. A lot of people will keep dating the same person because they still have not learned the lesson they're supposed to learn. And you may not even recognize that. Your friends would be like, what are you doing with her? She's just like the last girl you dated. No, we talk about. The last one was blonde. This one's a redhead. Same people, same person, different body, because you didn't learn the lesson. Okay. And then you have the soulmate relationship. Well, a soulmate is also supposed to teach you something. However, it's also there to afford you love and comfort at the same time. So a soulmate relationship feels really good. It feels like you've known the person a long time. Sometimes they move very quickly. You feel very emotionally close for whatever reason. And once you've learned your lesson, you can still choose to stay together if you want. Some relationships last a short period of time. Some last a long period of time. It really depends what you wrote into your life plan. Okay. And then there are, just so you know, there are thousands of soulmates and thousands of karmic relationships out there for you. Okay. That's what's coming into your life. And then there are the twin flames relationship. Now, twin flames, there's a lot of misinformation around the internet on twin flames.
Yeah.
Everyone does not have one. They are extremely rare relationships. They're not something that most people can handle, and it's not something most people would want. It is literally one soul that split in two on the other side and came back here in two separate bodies. Because you're on the
What?
exact same energetic frequency at some point in time that you had already pre-planned, you will meet in this lifetime. And when that happens, it's always a sexual relationship. It's always extremely intense. It lasts for a very short time, from weeks to a couple of months. That's it. And when it ends, it's like you're ghosts. It's like you have to ask yourself, did I actually feel that? Did it ever really happen? Was it
What?
real? And the whole
Okay.
purpose of that relationship is to change your life completely and put you on the path that you're supposed to be on. And twin flames are not here just to learn the 5 soul lessons. They're basically here to help humanity. So they have to learn those lessons and get on their path. And if that happens for both of them, they will have an opportunity to reunite in this lifetime. If not, they will not reunite in this lifetime, and most don't. They have to wait until they both go to the other side again. And they don't always reincarnate together. Sometimes one will reincarnate here and the other one stays on the other side so that they have a break, because it's an intense relationship.
This is this is powerful. This is really, really powerful. That's also a view I don't hear it so far about relationships. So, but what I see also within relationships, and what I can say also from my own experiences, when I had other relationships in the past, so they always was, first, not long, second, they was also not so good, but it's also it's always like that the other person is a reflection of you, right? And we spoke also in the beginning about this attraction, about this law of attraction, with the radio, that we just
You have to be on the same, on the frequency that you're on is what you're bringing into your life. Those are the people that you bring into your life, the people that are on the same frequency.
exactly
Yep.
how we attract that people, right?
And the other thing that happens in a relationship is, once you've attracted someone in your life that's on your frequency, once you're together for a period of time, the energy builds up. And we're like magnets. So you're always attracting or you're repelling at any given time. So when that energy builds up, the magnets flip and you start repelling each other instead of attracting each other. And the only way to stop that from happening, if you separate for a while, the energy dies down and then you can get back together again. And the same thing will continue happening. The energy will build up after a period of time, something will trigger it, and then the magnet flips and you are repelling each other. The only way to stop that process with someone is to balance your energy. And when one person balances their energy, both people will be balanced, because you're on the same energetic frequency. And that's how you stay with someone if you want to stay with a soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but
that's how it works.
Probably the most of the people don't know if the other person now is their soulmate, or
you feel it. You feel it. Is it comfortable, or does it feel like you're always looking for the red flags? When you learn how to pick up on energy, it's very easy to tell if someone is a soulmate or a karmic relationship.
Yeah, this with the karmic relationship, I think it's also really interesting. So when we just say now reincarnation is real, so, and we had already several lives in other bodies.
We reincarnate about every 350 to 400 years of our time, from what I can decipher. And there are exceptions to every rule. Some people will do faster and some people will wait longer, but that's the average.
Yeah, okay. So that by the way, that's maybe a long time, but maybe also not. Maybe it's just a long time in the view of us
So-
humans, right?
So when you think about it, time is a construct that we created here. Okay, time doesn't really exist in the universe. If you sent an astronaut at the age of 20 up into the, into the universe, and he came back here 20 years later, everybody else on Earth is going to be 20 years older. They aren't. They're going to be probably 2 years older because time is different. They're not going to age the same way. It all
Yeah.
has to do with being on this planet and gravitational pull and we created time to be able to try to control things. Basically, the same reason that we have routine and set alarm clocks to try to
Yeah.
have some control over a world that we have no control in.
Yeah.
So time is very different. And on the other side, it's a much slower process than it is here. We're here for a blink of an eye. Less than 100 years. It's a blink of an eye in millennium. And your soul is, souls are hundreds of thousands of years old. So
okay, yeah, okay. And yeah, as I see always again and again, when you want to live a more fulfilled and healthy relationship, you have to do something for it, right? So just an example for me, in the past, I had always relationships that was going broke, or I was getting
because you didn't trust
cheated
the
on me,
universe.
you
The
know,
universe
right?
will never let you
And
go broke. The universe will always supply for you. It's because you weren't in touch with the universe.
yeah. So because in my past, I don't want to learn anything, so I had also really difficult past. Yeah, a
The
lot of
universe
things.
steps in. The
What's
universe
happened?
makes stuff happen when you
Yeah,
can't do it for yourself.
yeah, exactly. And then someone was coming this turning point that I met the right people, and it was because of a business concept. So what I don't make anymore, but this was the start with when I was digging deeper into personal development and found out that there are things I'm interested in, and I want to build my knowledge. I want to build myself. And then I was going deeper also into spirituality, etc., etc. And also to the time I attracted my girlfriend that I have now, and now it's already 2 years, and that it's the best relationship I had ever. And we was going through a lot, really a lot. And I had also extremely much challenges, but just for growth, right? For growth and healing. And also because of that, it just was getting better and better. More trust, more love. And I guess this relationship is also here that I learn to really, really love and to trust. And I'm so fucking grateful for the relationship. So, and
When you
I
learn how the universe works, it will
yeah.
bring you everything you ask for. Everything. As soon as you ask the universe, and people pray, right? When you pray, you're asking. When you meditate, you're listening for your answer. But anything you ask, the universe will bring it to you. If it's something it can bring to you right away, it will. If it takes a little bit of time, have patience, because as soon as you ask the universe, they're working on it for you. I wanted to buy a new car when COVID hit. I knew exactly what I wanted for a car. Wasn't finding it because they don't make them anymore. So all I was finding was used ones, right? Couple hours later in my email, a brand spanking new one on the showroom floor, the same price as a used one with full warranty.
Wow.
If you ask, the universe is working on it for you immediately. I asked to have more female friends, boom, they started coming out of the woodwork. I asked to have more golfing friends, boom, they're coming out of the woodwork. Anything you ask the universe for, they will supply for you. You have to know that and trust it.
But I think you need to be open for it, right? You need to be open to receive, and also step a bit out of your ego and ask this question over and over again, right?
You don't have to ask it over and over again. No, once you've asked it once,
No,
they hear you. No, when you learn how
they,
the angels work, so angels are a separate race. They were never human, and their entire existence is to help us. That's their whole existence. If you lose something, you can ask Saint Anthony and he'll find it for you every single time. Every single time my faith is wavering, they'll take an object of mine. They'll take one of my diamond earrings. They'll take my glasses. They'll take something. Out of the blue, it disappears. Really weird. I ask,
what?
and I'll look and look and look, and I
What?
won't find. As soon as I sit down and ask Saint Anthony, I find it immediately, every single time. But you have to ask, or they cannot help you. So when you're asking the universe, when you're meditating, I'm always asking, angels, guides, loved ones, anyone,
Yeah.
other higher vibrational entities over there that are helping me for my highest and best. This is what I need. This is what I'm asking you for. And boom, as soon as they'll find it as quickly as they can for me. I mean, it's I wanted to buy a house, a new house. I moved to Florida. I was
Yeah.
renting an apartment. I wanted to find a duplex. I completely forgot I even asked, okay? When I started looking for a house 6 months later, there was only literally 3 duplexes in the whole town. Don't you know? One of them came up for me.
Huh.
This is how it works. And I
Wow.
was able to buy it. It's a freaking miracle I was able to buy it, but I was able to buy it.
Yeah,
And somebody else
that's
tried to buy it out from under me, and I didn't think I was going to still be able to get it, and I did.
yeah, yeah. I think also some things needs more time than other things, right?
They
So
do. They come in
and
the time that you planned them. I wasn't, I was still
and
living in a rental, and it wasn't the time for me that I asked. But within 6 months was the time, and it showed
mm-hmm,
up immediately. And I'm like, oh, I completely forgot I wanted a duplex.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Some things can need also or I put it differently. With some things we just need to be patient and wait, right? So
That's one of our
for
soul lessons, patience.
for example, also with me, it's with the own business, right? So it's just with building this own business and so and
You have to do the
I
work to get
just
the reward. That's how the universe works. You're not going to get
and
it if you got it. If it came easy for you and somebody came over and plopped down $1 million for you, you wouldn't appreciate it. This is why most lottery winners are broke in a year. They don't appreciate it. There was no even exchange of energy there.
yeah, so I think it's also the financial knowledge when these people win money, because then they just spend everything on shit and they don't
They don't
have
appreciate it.
they don't appreciate it
It was not
exactly.
an even exchange of energy. It has no value to them. There has to be an
So
even exchange.
like the law of alchemy,
Yeah.
do you know
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So
Alchemy. Yeah.
that's there needs to be something equal
Equal
in
exchange of energy. It has to be
e-
equal. So if
yeah.
you're putting in all the work, yes, you'll get the financial reward at the end because you're putting in the work. The universe rewards the work.
So then, but there we are then again with manifestation, and manifestation it can be also now about relationships, I
It's law of
think,
attraction.
right? It's law of attraction.
But
So
again, remember
so
balance. Remember balance. Because if you bring it in, all right, and you haven't balanced your energy, you're going to lose it because everything has to stay in balance.
yeah, so but when some people say, they so, what I see, some people say also really much you have to work really hard, and in this in the self-improvement scene, I see it a lot. And when we go then a bit more to the spiritual side, so hey, you can attract everything when you chase everything, then
You
it's like
can't
a
chase. When you
a
chase, you
cat,
push it away. Yeah,
right? You push
you
it
push it
away,
away.
and you have to make that work with love and etc
It
etc,
has to be a good heart and a positive
right?
intention, and it has to be, there has to be positive intentions behind it. but you have to do the work to get the reward. It's that simple. It's just like when I do I have the 7-week program. People think they
Yeah.
can just, just listen to something and don't have to do the work and they don't have to do the meditations and their
Yeah.
energy is going to shift. It doesn't work
Yeah.
that way. If you don't balance it, if you don't do the whole program so you understand it and can balance your energy, everything that you've brought in, you're going to lose. And,
Mm-hmm.
I saw it with COVID. One of my students
Yeah.
had done the program. Her and her husband were separated. They were having a very difficult marriage. She
Mm-hmm.
did the program. She balanced her energy. Everything
Mm-hmm.
was amazing. She attracted him back into her life. Their life was incredible. COVID hit. She
Yeah.
went back to all of her old habits, stopped doing everything that I taught her. And this time, the universe decided that not only are they going to separate, but this time he's going to get himself a new girlfriend too. So, when the universe gives you the tools and the knowledge and you don't follow through and use it, the next time it's going to give you a bigger kick in the ass because you didn't appreciate it the first time.
Okay. When you don't, it's the same principle with your relationship, right? When you don't appreciate it, so then you have to learn the lesson, or the universe just sends you over and over again the same lesson you have to learn, just in another situation, right? So
There's 5 lessons, so it really depends on
that's,
how you need to learn it or how you're going to learn it. Let's say the lesson is unconditional love. Okay.
yeah.
Maybe you're not learning that with your wife or your husband. Maybe you have a child that you love and
Yeah.
they do something horrific, like they murder their neighbor in a fit of rage and they go to prison the rest of their life. Well, there's an extreme example for you of unconditional love. You don't
Damn.
like what the child did, but you still love the child, right?
Yeah, right.
So if you can't learn it one way, it will try to teach you in another way.
It could be also with toxic family members.
It could be a toxic family member. You aren't about to change them if they don't choose to change, because people change because they have to or they want to.
Yeah.
And if you want to change the dynamic with them, you have to change the interaction. So you have to change first. And when you change and you do things differently, they will do things differently when they are around you. It will not be the same, okay? And they will change because you changed as far as you're concerned with your interaction. But the lesson is for you. The lesson is for you. If, just because you were born into a family, you chose that family to learn a lesson. What was the lesson? You didn't pick them randomly. Were you supposed to be teaching them or were they supposed to be teaching you? What's the lesson? Is it trust and communication? Is it unconditional love? That I love you? We're not seeing eye to eye. We're not bringing each other joy. I want the best for you, but we need to part ways. Just because they're your family, I'm one of 8 children and I only talk to 2 other ones.
Oh,
I have 2 that have passed to the other side, so that's 4, but there's 3 that I don't talk to at all because,
damn.
yeah, just because they were born into my family does not
Yeah.
mean that I have to keep them in my life if they don't bring me joy.
But that's also difficult, difficult to decide what you decide if you decide now to just love them anyway and still have
I love
contact.
them and I wish them well, but
know.
I have no contact with them. There's 2 I have 0 contact with, and 1 I'll
Yeah.
send a card at Christmas, and that's it. Because they're not they're not good vibration to have in my life.
Yeah,
number
exactly.
one.
And
They're
that's
lower vibrational people. They're into drugs and alcohol. They do not benefit my life to have them in my life. So my self-worth comes first. My joy comes first.
yeah,
My happiness comes first, because
yeah,
everything in my life revolves around that. And if they're
yeah.
not bringing any of that into my life, just because they were born into my family does not mean they have a right to be in my life. And I have friends that are in my life that I feel are family to me. Just because they weren't born into my family does not mean that they cannot be like family to me.
Yeah, oh
You
damn.
know?
With friends that I have also really powerful example. This is just this
It's the
connection.
same thing. It's the same thing.
That's this connection is so much stronger as
And if it brings
some
joy into your life and, you know, it's a higher energetic connection, then you want to keep them in your life. Now, if
yeah.
something changes and one of them decides to become a drug addict or an alcoholic, and suddenly they're doing lower vibrational things and they're not bringing joy into your life, then you're going to cut cords with that person and say, I love you. I want the best for you. I hope you recover, but I can't have you in my life anymore.
Yeah. So there's also other question, what are drugs anyway, but this I don't want to go now. So I just want to stay short into relationships, because I see that's a really important topic in our life,
Well, they're
because
all relationship. It's a
that
relationship with your friends and a relationship with your family. That's
yeah,
still all relationships.
yeah, it's all relationships, or with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. So but when we have to deal with toxic family members, for example, yeah, I don't like so much to speak about it, but I just speak about it now that
Well,
we
apparently it's
bring
an
as
issue. It's an issue for you, and that's why you don't like to talk about it,
yeah
because
yeah
it's one of the lessons that you're working on. Then unconditional love, maybe, and trust and communication. So my father was a monster. Okay, my father was
no
a horrible person.
okay
Yet I was able to forgive him. Okay, and I was able to have him in my life, but keep him at a distance. And in fact, I took care of him when he was dying of cancer.
mm-hmm.
Because and the reason that I did that was to set example for my own children, so that they understood that there is something called unconditional love. That's what unconditional love is.
Yeah,
Even, you know, everything that happened to me happened for a reason. It made me who I am. I understand that.
yeah,
And I can still love him from a distance and say, I don't want you in my life, but I'll help you when you need it. I'll have you over for the holidays. I'll check on you once in a while. So my children don't feel that hate and see that. I don't want my children treating me that way when I'm older.
yeah.
And using it as an excuse. Well, you never saw your father. You never talked to your father. I forgave him. My parents, I mean, I'm German. My parents were German, and German are
You too.
very, yes,
Yeah,
German,
me too.
the German upbringing can be very cold and very unloving and uncaring. And they
Yes.
feel that as long as they went to work and put food on the table, they've showed you that they love you and care about you. Well, that's
Yeah,
osmosis, and it doesn't work that way. They needed to learn communication. So
yeah.
neither of my parents ever hugged me or told me that they loved me until I was about 35 years old. And I told them that I forgive them, I love
Oh,
them, and I gave them a hug. And
yeah.
they both started crying and told me how much they loved me. And every time I saw them since, I made a point of
Mm.
giving them a hug and telling them that I love them before I left. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, they were already, if I was 35, they were already in their 80s. My parents were older. I had, you know, other siblings
Wow.
that were younger and older
Mm-hmm.
than me. So,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
was something that they needed to learn. And they were then able to tell someone else that they loved them and they cared about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And this is also, yeah, it makes so much sense what you say.
That's
So,
the communication
and
and
yeah,
trust that whatever comes out of your mouth is going to be the right thing.
yeah, and with me, it's also always also just I'm sure that this brings the listeners also much value. So, and by the way, when you are now right now still on this interview, then congratulations. You train your attentiveness and you invest in yourself. That's the best investment, by the way. But with me also, it's really difficult with my mom, so because she was also going through a lot, and I just say also with my grandparents, I still have them, but my dad was passing away when I was 14 years old, exactly today, on tomorrow, in this night what is coming now. So he was passing away with a heart infect because he was alcoholic, and my parents was getting separated when I was 3 years old, and my mom had always different um, boyfriends, as not that much, but yeah, it was a really difficult time. And it's
So
also,
you can't use it as a crutch. You can't say, oh, I have problems in my life because this is how you raised me and this is what you did. It was a lesson for you to learn from.
yeah, exactly.
And
It
that's
was
what
a
you need to
lesson to learn.
understand.
Yeah, definitely. And I understood now already much, but I see there's still much to yeah, to learn, or to,
That's
to
the life that she chose.
make
She
the
chose that life. You don't have to choose that life. You chose a different life. You planned your
definitely
life differently.
definitely. So, but with this, it's always again and again that I see that it's toxic, but there is still something what I know deep in myself. I I just love them, because I know they they helped me also already a lot in my life with certain things, but there's also this complete other side, when I just think also much times about to just break up the content I don't want anymore, because it's so much challenging with my energy, right? That we talked before the interview about it, and
you have to remember that, you chose them as parents. You chose everything that's happened in your life. And even if you were an alcoholic or a drug addict, you chose that because it's a challenge for you to overcome and channel into something else. So you can't sit back and keep blaming them that she should have made other decisions, things should have been differently in your life or differently in your upbringing. No, absolutely not. They happened the
yeah.
way they were supposed to, and they made you who you are. And that's what you need to come to terms with and accept and say, thank you, because I am who I am, and I love who I am, and I could not be
Yeah,
this person if my
yeah,
life had been differently.
this definitely. So, but there's always this, yeah, we come again to balance, right? There's always
Exactly.
to find that balance, that maybe you say, yeah, okay, I can't meet you that often, because just
You don't want to be
because
around the energy. It's just how it
that
is.
energy vampire, it's just how it is. But I just still love you, and I don't want to break up the
That's the
contact, because it
unconditional
just,
love.
yeah, because it just feels not good. And when you vibrate already higher, and when you raise with your consciousness, I'm sure it's much harder to break up with a family member, so, because you just feel that unconditional love, right?
But
So, and
when you have self-worth, it's not that difficult.
yeah.
You have to learn to put yourself first. That's what self-worth is all about. So I had a younger
Yeah.
sister that was into drugs and alcohol when she was younger. She was a year younger than me. We were born 3 days apart. And I was her legal guardian for almost 20 years of her life. So I was the one that said where she could go, whether she could drive, what drugs she had to take and didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And she hated me. Tried to make my life miserable when she was here. And I always felt bad because, I always felt that there for the grace of God go I. It could have been me, not her, right?
Yeah, right.
But she chose this life. She chose it for a reason. And when she died, it took her about a year to come to me and tell me that she was sorry for how she treated me when she was here, that she was just very jealous.
Yeah.
And then she explained to me that she had been in counseling on the other side since she passed away, and that she did not want to come back in this lifetime and have to learn what she was supposed to learn when she was here and have that kind of a life again. She didn't want to repeat that. So she was going to spend her effort on the other side, learning whatever lesson, which was probably self-worth. So she didn't have to come back and learn that lesson again on this lifetime, on this plane.
Yeah, okay, that comes something in my mind. Can
So I'm sure your mom is probably trying to learn self-worth as well. And you have to recognize that it's not always about you. Sometimes it's about the other person.
Definitely. Also, what I learned so far already, also that she just loves me in that way. She loves me, and also my grandparents. So, and my stepdad, but my mom just was going through a lot in her life, and she just don't have or don't had this support from the right community, right? And that's also, I try also to give my best to give impulses to her, but more I can't make. And I also understand more and more with time, when I understand myself more and more, and when I get more and more self-worth. And that's
Right. Then you'll
also,
be able to separate without a problem and walk away with unconditional love, because
yeah,
you'll understand and have your own self-worth and understand that she has her own journey and she will
yeah,
learn it in her own time. You cannot force it on someone. You cannot
yeah.
make them do anything. We don't have that power. If we'd have that power, we'd make people love us all the time, right? We don't have that kind of power. Everyone
Yeah.
is responsible for for themselves. We can't make anybody do anything. You know, you can't make someone angry. That's their own issue. That's their own problem. That's their own emotion that's coming out of their own feelings. We can't make someone do anything.
Yeah, beautiful. So before we come slowly to the end, there was something popping up. So what I really want to ask you, what I don't wrote down, it's this skills we can develop right in our life that we don't learn in school. And there are different skills. There are intuition, there are also other skills, for example, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and so. And as I hear from you, you developed already clairvoyance, or in my understanding now, clairvoyance is also when you see other souls, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So, and what,
Clairaudience is when you hear them. Clairessence is when you smell them. Yeah.
yeah,
They're all
and
different parts of mediumship.
yeah, and clairsentience is
It's just
feeling and
that's
knowing.
the
No,
knowing. That's
yeah,
getting in touch with your own soul.
yeah. So this for example, I feel more and more now. So, but the question is now, can every person develop these skills? And
Absolutely.
when yes, yeah. So
You're born with them.
every person have probably different areas, or let
No,
it put
not
other,
necessarily. Not necessarily. It's like playing a piano. Okay, some people sit
yeah.
down and all they can do is play chopsticks. Some people learn to teach themselves a couple of songs. Other people really apply themselves and learn, and they can be a concert pianist. And then you have, I mean, somebody like me is the child prodigy that sits down at 6 and plays Mozart. That's not everybody, but everybody has ability, and everybody can learn to develop all of those abilities once they get in touch with their soul. They will come to you one by one.
But I what I mean is, for example, that with me, for example, now I just feel, I just have that uh clairsentience, for example. I feel this much more, as for example now seeing things. Sure, I feel it also a bit, and once I saw also a bit something else, but I don't want to go too deep now into that. But you know what I mean. So that you just was born into this life, and that you have already more strength, for example, in clairsentience as in clairvoyance. So
Everybody has the ability. So there could be hindrances. For instance, your pineal gland is that walnut-sized gland that's in the center of your brain.
Yeah, the
And
third
it
eye.
has, it's fluid filled, so it's like a clear pool, okay? It's like a
Yeah.
clear reflecting pool.
Yeah.
But if they put fluoride in the water and fluoride in your toothpaste, so it makes it cloudy and hardens up, so it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you have to really decalcify that in order to be able to have that reflect. And that's
Yeah.
where a lot of the messages come from. It's like a radio receiver, basically.
Yeah.
So it comes into your brain and makes the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It,
That
it,
there
it
we are.
collects the energy. It
There we
collects the
are.
energy.
Yeah. That there we are again on this point, health. Oh,
Yeah.
what I develop myself further and further to help people more and more. So in the holistic health scene. So this is also a lot with the system. So when you are in that space as we are, so and you start to just see more and more things, more and more problems that's going on in that system, and that this system and this effect makes us sick. But when you wake up, then you see also what you can do to get more healthy, right?
Correct.
So
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
need that knowledge and you just need patience, yeah, right. So but this with the clairvoyance, and so it's super exciting, and that's good to hear that we all can develop these.
Absolutely. And like I said, my first book, A Night on the Other Side, you can find that on my website,
Yeah.
juneedwood.com. That has everything in it that I used to teach in my psychic and medium development class. It will help you understand how all of that works. So I recommend everybody get that and use it as a guidebook. Keep it as a book when you need information to go to. And all of my books are available. There's a webinar for free as well that people can sign up for on my website in regards to energy and see how energy works and see if it relates to them. If they're having problems with their relationship, after the webinar, they can also sign up for a phone call with me to talk about it if they're interested in the relationship mastery program.
Wow, cool. Yeah, this would be the last question what I wanted to ask you. So where people can find you the best. And
I'm also on social media. I am not on TikTok. It's an evil entity. I am on everything else but. And not that any of them are much better, but TikTok is dangerous to be on because it hacks everything that you have. So I don't go on TikTok. But I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Truth Social, X, LinkedIn, and you can find me on all of those. And you can always message me through my website, and you can sign up for any information on my website as well, juneedwood.com.
So, and you have also 4 different books, right?
There are 4 different books.
So,
that's correct. You can also schedule an appointment with me for anything that you'd like, a destiny card reading, an Akashic reading, a regular psychic reading. And if you are out of the United States, then I do work by Zoom or Skype as well.
But people can meet you also personally.
I am in Florida, not in the United States.
You are in Florida. So when I travel and I go to Florida, I write you, I come over. Definitely. So,
absolutely.
but people can also book calls over Zoom
They can
or
book an appointment
something.
with me. I also do speaking engagements too. For companies to help their employees understand how energy works in their relationships. And ends up in, if your sales are down and you're having trouble with anything like that, I teach them how the energy works to improve everything in your business and in your life.
Oh, that's beautiful. We need more people like you, and just we just have to raise the consciousness, or maybe we just have to be and just play our role here, right? Yeah. So now I have two last questions. What I ask always every person, what can we make to raise our consciousness? So what's your
meditate
best tip? Meditate.
Meditate. The directions are in all my books.
All right. And last question is, what do you think humanity needs the most right now?
People need to meditate, raise their consciousness, and understand why they're here and what's happening. Because right now it's just a fight over good and evil. It's
Yeah.
all a fight over your soul. That's all it is. It's always been a fight over your soul.
So, but I mean, it was always, right? It was always a fight, or maybe not a fight, but I'm not sure how can I put it now, but wasn't it always a fight between good and evil?
Yes, it's a fight over your soul. They want to collect your soul, whether it's God collecting your soul or the devil collecting your soul. It's always a fight over your soul. That's what it's all about. Control, collecting
Control.
souls. Yep.
Control, yeah,
Control
that's
plays out on the 3D game board that we're in, but the
yeah,
end game is they want your soul. That's the end game.
that's the end game. So, yeah, be aware of yourself. So, and yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was a really good conversation with you,
Yeah,
June,
thank you
and
for having me. I
I
appreciate it.
I always love to talk about stuff with you and just be with you, and you just have a so good energy. I just feel it, and I hope also the listeners loved that conversation. And also, you can also just put down in the description for you, listener, just put down in the description what you love the most on this podcast episode. And yeah, in that sense, June, I give you the final words. So when you have to
So it
say,
is the holiday season. Be kind to each other. But after the holiday season, remember, be kind. It doesn't cost anything. Be kind to each other. You have nothing good to say nothing.
beautiful. So then see you, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
You
So
as well. Thank you.